So my concern is that it's almost 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
We did not pull you over. You were parked here and asleep. Are you willing to perform some field sobriety tests?
I'm willing to not do that because obviously, from what you just told me, you think I'm
Are you willing to or not? Okay. So just so you know, if you held against you in court
for being pulled over on the side of the road.
All right. So no. Put your hands behind your back. You're gonna be placed under arrest for driving under the influence. Okay.
Okay.
On the 4th of May 2024, a Marion County Sheriff's deputy in Florida found a woman asleep in her car on I-75 engine running, foot on the gas.
Good. Sheriff's office. Hi. How are you? Down. Can you roll your window down for me? And take your foot off the accelerator? Roll your window down. Roll your window down. Can you roll your window? I can't hear you. Can you roll your window down? I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you roll down? Okay. All right. Cool. Step out the car for me.
Damn.
Step out the car for me.
Yes, sir.
Have you been drinking today?
I drank way earlier.
I'm sorry?
I drank way earlier before I got my vehicle.
Okay. Do you know where you are right now?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
I am on the way back to my home, which is the Ocklawaha, and on the way home, I'm just going home, going to bed.
Okay. But do you know where you are right now?
Yeah, right between Ocklawaha and the road. Yeah,
Okay. So you realize that you are parked in the middle of 75.
Absolutely. I pulled over.
Okay.
I 100% pulled my vehicle over so that I made sure that I got to my vehicle on the way home so that there's no other incidents or anything like that. I have literally pulled over
Okay. Go ahead and grab your driver's license, your registration, and your insurance for me, please.
Yes, sir.
Is he trying to just take off?
Yeah.
Is he trying to park?
It's unparked.
Sorry, love. I know that everything's broken apart. The incident.
Do you want to call her and see if she wants to have something to move them down? No, I'm being disaster.
Like you said?
Yeah. Probably. What's that?
Well, you said you wanted me to make sure I get my insurance, my everything.
So then why are you trying to hand me cash?
Is my cash not an incident?
What?
You said you wanted my incident, my cash, my everything.
No, driver's license, insurance, and registration.
Yeah. That's not everything. Sir, honestly, I'm genuinely confused. You want me to continue looking for my insurance, looking for just staying here?
Yeah. Where's your car registration?
Right here. Sorry, that was my period.
That's right.
Yes.
Where are you coming from?
I got off work. I work in Riverview. I live in Ocala.
Okay.
All I do, literally every day, my birthday is tomorrow. All I do is get off work, go home. My whole life.
Gotcha.
I've never gotten in trouble. I've never done anything just stressed out.
So your driver's license? Let me see your driver's license. I like the book.
Sorry, sir. I gave you my driver's license, like.
And your registration should be somewhere in that paper. All those papers you had. That looks.
It's 2017. You can check.
It's what?
2017.
Where at?
24 and then 17. I literally might drive every day, but all I do is go to work and go to home. So it's like.
What? Do you know why you're stopped here on the highway?
I stopped over to call my friend because they were trying to call me and speak to me. And then I pulled over, everything started happening, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to speak to you anymore. I'm just going to deal with the situation. And that
what's the situation?
I went to pull over. I saw lights behind me. Mm-hmm. I saw multiple situations. My friend was calling me, and I said, hey, I'm going to pull over because I'm not really sure why or anything like that. But I'm going to make sure that they're safe, I'm safe, whatever's happening behind me is going okay. Okay. And then all of a sudden, it was...
I don't mean to interrupt you, but can you come on and talk to me? Because I'm having trouble hearing you. I got tinnitus and all this. And...
No.
All right. Okay. So we'll get. All right. So there was lights behind you. And so what? All right.
So I'm driving.
Okay.
I got off work. My friend called me. She said, "Hey, you know what? I have a flat tire." I said, "Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna pull over. I'm gonna help you with your flat tire, and I'm gonna go home. My birthday is literally." Now it's not tomorrow.
Today.
But my birthday's the 5th. I'm going to continue to go home. Mm-hmm. No issues. I've never, other than a speeding ticket, got an incident.
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue to go home. I'm so sorry about your incident. I helped her. Mm-hmm. Everything. Continue to go home. Nothing was an issue. I saw lights behind me as I'm still driving home. Mm-hmm. And then I pulled over to make sure everything was good. Still continue to stay there because my friend was on the phone with me. Mm-hmm. Everybody started coming. I was like, I got to get off the phone. I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I see lights behind me continuing. Mm-hmm. So she hung up. I just stayed here. I continued to drive a little bit to make sure, like, maybe they're not coming for me. But I obviously knew because I'm on the phone with her and I see everything happening. So I just continued to be on the phone with her, pulled over, saw you guys, continued to pull over. I'm not good with cars. Mm-hmm. I've had this car for 6 years. I have all of my insurance, my everything that's possible for this vehicle. Mm-hmm. But I am not a girl. Like
I get you.
I still continue to. Whatever needs to happen, I will do it. Mm-hmm. Like, I will go home. I will call somebody if you need me to. Whatever needs to happen. Mm-hmm. It's not anything against that. I knew I was fine, and then all of a sudden, all of this started happening, and I'm freaking out.
I get you.
I'm anxiety, and I'm like, damn it. People are coming up behind me, and I don't know what to do. So I'm going to pull over, and now everyone's just like, I'm like, whatever.
So was it us that you pulled over for, or was it somebody else?
I did.
Okay,
I truly saw the lights, and I'm like, tripping in the middle of the road, like, Jesus Christ, am I getting pulled over? I've gotten pulled over maybe twice before this, but I'm 28 now. Yeah. Today. Like, I have never been pulled over for anything more than, like, a traffic, them knowing what's happening, and me knowing what's happening. Okay. So when this happened, I was, like, truly a little bit scared. Like, Jesus Christ, I have been sober all night. I've had one drink, and it wasn't even a drink. It was one shot for my birthday I'm the manager at the restaurant, with all my coworkers, and I was like, Jesus Christ, y'all are shit-faced. Y'all all left, came back. I'm still sober. Like, I want to go home.
So where do you work?
I work in Riverview.
Okay. What's the name of the restaurant?
Joya.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an Italian restaurant in a martini bar. Okay. I've worked corporate my entire life at Outback. Okay. Literally since I was 18.
Yeah, I get you.
So this is my first time encountering with cops other than, like, my family's not the best or anything like that, I'm not gonna lie. But no, honestly, genuinely, I was driving. I've had one drink.
Yep.
swear to God, I will not lie to y'all about that.
Okay.
But, y'all scared the shit out of me. I am nervous as shit right now because I've never been in this.
So now, all right, so you said you were in the middle lane when we pulled you over?
I was in the far left lane.
Far left lane?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I saw your lights. I got nervous as shit. Didn't know what to do. Moved to the middle lane. And then was a little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. After the middle lane, I got low in my brain. I'm like, Jesus Christ, are they pulling me over? Are they not? My anxiety is going through the roof right now. And then, yeah, I'm very nervous.
Okay. So then, once you moved to the middle lane, we moved with you, and then you moved over here. And okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
My heart started racing. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm on this lane. What the fuck do I do now? I've never encountered police in that, like, not speed, obviously, but, like, in an incident where I felt like I was in trouble.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, my God, I'm in trouble for what?
All right. Well, I got a couple questions for you. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I can smell alcohol in your breath.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I told you I had that drink.
Yeah. Do you remember what time you had that drink?
I had that drink at 10 o'clock. I think right now it's like probably
and it was just
12.
It was a shot?
It was one big shot.
One big shot. Like a double, or because you work in restaurants, so I'm assuming you kind of have a...
I didn't pour my own shot.
Okay.
My other bartender poured me a birthday shot.
Yep.
And she was with my other manager. She was also with one of our regulars.
Okay.
One strong, it was 1800 tequila.
Okay.
Other than that, after this evening, I literally told them I'm going home. I'm not going to drink more. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going home, made sure they got in their vehicles, and I started going home.
Okay. So my concern is that it's almost 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
We did not pull you over. You were parked here and asleep. And every time I try to talk to you, I could hear you push on the accelerator instead of doing what I was asking you. Okay. So I'm a little concerned that you might be intoxicated. Okay.
Absolutely.
Are you willing to perform some field sobriety tests for me?
I'm willing to not do that because obviously, from what you just told me, you think I'm shit-faced or you think I'm intoxicated.
Well, no, I'm explaining to you why I think you're intoxicated, and I'm asking you to perform field sobriety exercises to determine if you even are intoxicated.
I mean, I would 100% apply to that if I felt like I would get the same reciprocation.
I get you. So it's a yes or no question. Are you willing to or not? Okay. So just so you know, if you refuse to do field sobriety exercises, they can be held against you in court.
For being pulled over on the side of the road?
No. So
because that's why you told me you stopped me was because I was pulled over on the side of the road, which I told you I pulled over to speak to somebody. Okay.
All right. No. What I'm saying is, if you refuse to do field sobriety exercises, if you do have a court case, then they can use that and say, hey, she was offered to do field sobriety exercise and she said no.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that in mind, are you still willing? Are you? Okay. All right. So go ahead and put your hands behind your back. You're going to be placed under arrest for driving under the influence. Okay. Nope. Like your brain. Yep. There you go. 210. All right. Anything on me? Anything on you that's going to poke me, stick me, stab me?
I mean, you got pockets?
That's what I was going to say. You got tight-fitting clothes, so just want to ask.
Everybody? Yeah. No.
Okay. All right.
Do you want your cell phone with you?
I would love something that can contact some of my family or something.
What all in that vehicle do you need with you?
My phone.
Your phone?
My purse.
Okay. Yeah. 176. I'll be 1015. Reference signal 1.
This is
have
wild.
Have him grab a 32 for me. Alrighty.
Anything else?
13 minutes later, she was under arrest for DUI. 0 field sobriety tests administered. That missing step is the legal center of this case. The deputy's own words set the frame. "We did not pull you over, you were parked here and asleep." That makes this a welfare check, not a traffic stop governed by the community caretaking doctrine from KDV Dombrowski, 1973. Once DUI became the focus, Florida Statute Section 316.19(3) controlled. The state must prove actual physical control of a vehicle while normal faculties were impaired. Under State v. Meador, a driver asleep in a running vehicle satisfies the control element. The problem is impairment. Confirmed alcohol odor plus a 1-drink admission 2 to 4 hours prior establishes reasonable suspicion. That is not probable cause for arrest. The SFST battery closes that gap. It was never run. The NHTSA validated tests, HGN, walk and turn, 1-leg stand, produce court-admissible impairment data. None were given. Defense doesn't need to prove innocence. It only needs to point at the empty record and ask why. The sharpest legal moment is the FST refusal advisement. The deputy said declining field sobriety exercises can be held against you in court. That requires a close read of Florida Statute Section 316.1932, the implied consent law. Section 316.1932 covers chemical tests, only breath, blood, urine. It does not cover field sobriety exercises. FST refusal carries no statutory penalty. Conflating the two is legally imprecise, and that imprecision is what suppression motions are built on. On Miranda, pre-arrest roadside admissions are admissible under Berkemer v. McCarty. Pre-custody questioning is non-custodial. Any questioning after handcuffs went on, without a rights advisement on camera, sits on shakier ground. The totality, asleep on the highway, foot on accelerator during approach, alcohol odor, admission of drinking. Each has an innocent explanation. Without SFST data anchoring impairment, that case is circumstantial. Courts treat that differently. Worth noting, the subject recalled events sequentially, named her employer, gave specific times, and held a coherent conversation under genuine stress. That cognitive performance is exactly what walk and turn and 1-leg stand document. It was never documented. The deputy receives a C+, lawful contact, professional demeanor, calm arrest. The liability is procedural, no SFST battery, and a mischaracterization of FST refusal consequences. Solid instincts, weak documentation. The subject receives a B, cooperative throughout, compliant at arrest, never escalated. The deductions are her pre-arrest admissions, legally costly transparency, and the 2 behavioral cues that first generated the officer's suspicion. The irony. A field sobriety test might have cleared her on camera. She was articulate and oriented the whole encounter. Those qualities belong in a test record. That record was never made. 5 takeaways from this case, for drivers, and for anyone wearing a badge. Lesson 1. Pulling over voluntarily does not eliminate DUI exposure. Under Florida Statute Section 316.193, actual physical control applies to a parked, running vehicle with the driver in the seat. Good intentions don't override the statute. Lesson 2. Florida's implied consent law, Section 316.1932, covers chemical tests, not field sobriety exercises. You can decline SFSTs without a statutory penalty. Know that distinction before you're on a highway at 2 a.m. Lesson 3. Pre-arrest roadside statements are admissible under Berkemer v. McCarty. Beyond license, registration, and insurance, you are not required to answer investigative questions. Voluntary admissions carry real legal weight. Lesson 4. For law enforcement, the SFST battery protects the arrest record, not just the conviction. Run the tests even when the circumstantial case feels obvious. An empty record is the first place defense counsel goes. Lesson 5. Comply first, litigate later. Contesting an arrest belongs in a courtroom, not on a highway shoulder. The subject got that right at a moment when most people don't. The outcome of any charges from this arrest is unknown at the time of analysis. The evidentiary record has a gap, and that gap belongs to the investigation, not the footage. If you have a case or a legal topic you want broken down, drop it in the comments. Hit like, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next one.